Tonight on Poker After Dark,
Oh wait, you raised? You screwed up.
Daniel Negreanu takes on his coach. Matt Berkey takes on the table.
And just like that, Berkey has aces.
Nice job, dum-dum.
And Scott Seiver goes for broke.
I've never had good bounce back ability.
Welcome one and all to Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a new season of Poker After Dark, and that means some new faces seated at the purple felt of the Poker After Dark suite. A familiar voice in the booth, however, I'm Ali Najad, and once again, we've got Veronica Brill on the floor bringing you interviews. Among the new faces are Zach Franzi in the one hole, who has bought into this 200-400 game with 50 grand, and MJ Gonzalez in the 5 seat, otherwise known as Daniel Negreanu's coach, and he's in for a cool 100K.
And I will take the Jack of Hearts because it's my favorite card in the deck.
All right, I'm taking the King of Clubs.
Terrible card.
You'll see.
Jeez.
I'm going to follow Scott's lead.
Loving it.
Chewy told me
Very
his
disciplined.
favorite card was the Jack of Hearts, and I'm like, he's just a sharp fellow.
He is a sharp fellow.
And I've just ever since.
I don't think you're allowed to. I think once someone has a favorite card,
The
though.
ever
to me,
sticky
Chewy.
big blind of Matt
just allowed to
Berkey
do
defends and flops a deuce on the paired
Good
flop.
to be playing poker with
That's
you,
my
gentlemen.
deuce. That's my deuce of clubs, Daniel.
Your what?
Deuce of clubs. I'm just thinking. This is my first time playing live poker in like a year and a half, and I'm just already seeing all the props.
Oh, the props. Yeah.
Just wait and see how many you sleep.
Oh my God. Well, that's
I
the
used to
beautiful
have
part
really
about
bad
sleeping. By
props.
definition, you don't know you slept it.
I used to have really bad props, but I didn't care because I just wanted to bury everybody.
Yeah.
I had a 5 in like 5 of my 7 props.
Yeah.
So if the flop came trip 5s and I was on for triples, it was
game
$1
over for
million.
that. Yeah. Game over.
And I did hit it once, but I was playing
28.
heads up against Barry.
Oh, and double O.
It was doubles. Well, I
Yeah,
got paid
yeah.
though. At that time.
This poor Barry, unluckiest prop player ever.
No, he won like.
Yeah.
Berkey picking up a wheel draw, checks a second
I
time,
never heard Chip
faces
say anything bad
a
about anybody.
$2,800
Except
barrel.
that one guy one time. I was like, wow, it's so out of character.
That's funny.
Surrender.
Deuce.
The white flag is waved.
All right, sleeps or no sleeps?
You pick.
Sleeps. And 500 or 1K.
1K.
We can go bigger if you want.
4K.
Okay.
That was a fairly easy negotiation between MJ Gonzalez and Dan Smith for the props as you get a peek at Matt Berkey's background. We've talked about him being a Yinzer from Pennsylvania. Reppin' Solve for Y, his
I feel you.
Poker Instruction Academy.
Caffeine.
The most horrendous thing in the world for you.
The things I saw you do last year, Matt.
That was then. This is now. It's a whole new game,
I
man.
turned over a new
Different
leaf.
kind of coke.
We don't live in the past,
No,
man.
no, that's
Oh,
not
that green tea, man, it'll really get you.
1,000.
true. We had a long week in Deer Valley.
I didn't even do anything. I slept for 4 days.
I understand. I did a lot of things and slept for like 1 day.
Raise and take it for Negreanu's King Jack on the button. We've seen quite a bit of Daniel of late. He spoke with Veronica about playing with his coach.
You are probably the biggest superstar in poker, and you just played a really big heads-up match, and your coach is at the table. Are you feeling like maybe he'll use some exploitative play against you?
Oh, I definitely think, like, you know, we've spent a lot of time together in the lab with a third party and, you know, really going over a lot of stuff in depth. So anytime you have that situation where you both learn in the same way and you know each other's strengths and weaknesses, it creates a, well, he knows that I know that he knows I know, he knows I know that he knows I know I like to do that. So I imagine there'll be some leveling wars. It should be some fun.
How are you going to counter that, like just basically play randomly so he doesn't know what's going on?
I think here's the thing, right? Like a counter to anybody who's like maybe going to exploit you is to play as close to like game theory optimal as you can, right?
Oh, wow.
Because if you play game theory optimal, there's nothing anyone can do to like exploit that. You're just playing your cans right. But he's very good at a lot of things. So, I mean, listen, it's not heads up. There's a bunch of players at the table. He won't be my target. You know, I'm looking to set my sights on maybe some other players at the table.
He still could not win.
Yeah.
It was hysterical.
And the coach will defend as Negreanu's 5-6 suited.
That's how I know when to quit a game. When I have
He's
to
up
look at my
against
cards 4 times. and
top pair.
They're different every
Trying to
time
do
I
math
look at it.
again. It's been a while. 2,600 is in there, right? Okay. So,
These internet kids, man.
can't remember. 600.
Play the
Put it all together.
okay with the old.
It's just an honor to get to watch the gears turn in real time.
Trying to educate
So now
myself.
there's
Decide if I
Hey,
want to.
man, we're staring 40 in the
or not.
face.
Top pair turns into top 2 as Negreanu now draws dead.
19.
1900. Cool. Oh, no, excuse me.
8. So there's
Wrong.
78.
64.
Oh, wait, you raised?
6400.
You screwed up. You should have waited for the river because I was going to barrel it in there. You raised for real?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to freaking pile. You missed out on an op.
Sometimes it happens that way.
I was drawing completely dead.
Were you?
Completely. Yes.
So
Unless he had a
MJ,
3.
1 for 1.
And I was drawing live.
Living in Las Vegas now, originally from the Bay Area, and a stint in Southern California, where he
Poor
was
draw, but
a
yeah.
formidable
I still
adversary
losing.
in
I
just
need to
about any
catch.
private game that was high stakes. 35 years of age. Beautiful daughter Zoe.
Is it only on the flop or at any point?
Any point on the board.
What if I asked a rabbit on a river and there it is?
If you want to play that, that's fine, as long as it's called prior.
1000.
But only I'm allowed to ask.
Yeah. Oh man, what a great situation that would be.
When you know you have his card in your hand and rabbit just every time.
I'm not emotionally stable enough for that. I mean, for small numbers like this, it'd be fine.
42.
But if someone could just randomly choose when to see an extra card, and if I got like whacked for like 30K or something like that, I'd be in outer space.
Call.
Dan's button open gets 3-bet by better diamonds.
Not emotionally sound.
Just volunteering that information is so.
Top pair
Seiver.
against bottom
what
pair
it
on the
is.
Queen 8-7 board.
I think it was on. I think you did Ingram's podcast, and you said something to the effect that your emotional instability is a weapon.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't call it a detriment because it's all I've had for
True.
years.
That's the half cup, the cup half full.
Yeah, exactly. If I know I'm an emotional basket case, I might as well at least really
That is
lean
the
into
jack of
it.
hearts, my friend.
Fair. If I know I have problems, I just dive into them.
Yeah, exactly. Lean into
Still
the
have one card to
discomfort.
Wide awake is Dan Smith, who calls his Jack of Hearts prop and picks up a 4-pack.
5000.
How much is in there?
He'll have to put all 4 of it in there, plus another dime if he wants to see
I
the
don't
river.
know. It's so hard to figure out this freaking math stuff.
It's all pot.
Yeah.
Dan did pick up a gut shot straight draw.
23.5.
23,500.
Boy, and he is applying tremendous pressure to this ace-queen, raising it up to 23-5. And MJ
Action.
How much is in there now?
makes the
A
call
bit more.
correctly, and his hand is
card.
still
He's a
best.
real game changer.
Try.
5 of clubs does not rate to have affected anything.
Check.
Try.
Dan gives up.
1 pair.
Winner.
And 2 for 2 is MJ Gonzalez showing his chops. Poker After Dark is brought to you by Roman. Simple, straightforward, the way healthcare should be. Visit GetRoman.com to learn more. Manscaped. Don't gamble with your grooming tools. Visit Manscaped.com today for the best in men's grooming. And Poker Go. Get in the game at PokerGo.com. Before the break, MJ Gonzalez made his presence known on Poker After Dark, winning a couple of nice pots to kick off this session.
10-5 offsuit, because it turned out I had never looked at my cards in this hand. And that lesson really stuck with me for knowing when to quit if I'm not really able to see my cards anymore.
Man, so brutal you didn't win that hand.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say I didn't win it, but I didn't win it.
I mean, you learned a lesson. I can't
Yeah,
imagine
exactly.
why.
That's fair. That's fair. I would have learned nothing had I won.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
would have been pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
apologize to the
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
before you hit him with the bad beat.
Yeah. I was just like, hey, man, sorry.
Sorry,
Like,
I'm
what are you
gonna-
sorry about? That's 10 of diamonds, 5 of clubs. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm about to
Sorry,
I have to
man.
snap you with this. I apologize.
Ducks, boxcars, and an ace-9 all take the flop, and ace-9 emerges in the lead as Negreanu closes the action emphatically with a check back.
Check.
Seiver holds the only flush draw
2100.
as Franzi decides to get after it.
Call.
Scott makes the call and has kings full of sixes.
Check. 5100. Call.
Yeah, feels a little reluctant, but Scott wants to keep Zach honest.
Or maybe I looked at my cards incorrectly. This time I knew what I had.
Kicker got you, huh?
So brutal.
You got a 9 with the worst kicker?
Kicker problem.
Finally knew what I had and it punished me.
Zach Franzi has only 36K
Jake
plus
promised
in
to
career
walk
live
into
tournament
I don't want to
earnings.
hear it.
Come.
I'm only here because Jake
He
begged
promised.
me to come. Begged me.
I've
Then I
spent
bet-
the last 6 days preparing for
prepping.
this bluff to get shown into my face.
I understand. Half the fun of playing with him. Oh, sorry. I skipped Shadow Creek to make sure I played, and they're at Shadow Creek.
Who would have thought you were the responsible one?
Obviously, I am the
That is-
virtue of responsibility.
Incredible. What a crew that must be.
Yeah, it's a hell of a cruise out there.
1000.
Franzi is a convert from the blackjack streets,
My responsibilities know no bounds.
which was his first gambling interest. Once upon a time, he was a busboy at Morton's Steakhouse. 2 jacks, 2 diamonds, and a 7 as 3 players
Check.
in for 1,000 each.
Check.
MJ, the pre-flop raiser.
Check. $1,500. Call.
Gonzalez takes a stab.
Check.
Franzi, a non-believer, calls with the ace-5, which is still good here on the end. They're a pretty wet-looking 8 of diamonds on the river,
5000.
which Gonzalez will fire 5K at. You see Zach has a little sniff there, but in the end decides
What do you guys want to do about
to
Tiffany?
let him get away with it. And 3 for 3.
This I
How about
is MJ.
whoever just won the last pot tips for the entire session?
Love that idea.
Yeah.
Love that.
Aye.
Let's vote on it. Yeah.
In.
Doesn't seem.
Veto, veto.
Okay, so we have 3-2. Sounds like Dan. Sounds like Dan Smith. No,
Let's just call it Austin,
it's
right?
so low.
Okay.
Or we can make it smaller. How about that?
That's worse. That
No,
I
I hate.
that I say
Honestly,
don't
I kind of hate gambling small as like a
Yeah, yeah,
guy.
exactly. You can turn it
People are
off.
like, hey, let's put $200 on the game.
1,000.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to do that.
How the f does my ace deuce offsuit lose?
2,500.
How do you qualify ace deuce offsuit as a really bad hand?
That's also a great question.
Interestingly, MJ and Zach, who squared off in that last pot, have not one but two bio notes that they share. They both state that their single greatest accomplishment that they're most proud of is their kids, and that they think people play tighter on televised poker games than they do in home games. Meanwhile, got something brewing here. Negreanu with the hooks, made it 1K. Berkey with ace-king, 3-popped it to 2,500. And after MJ flatted the small with king-queen suited, Seiver gets out of there with the ace-queen off. Good lay down from him. Negreanu looking to call the herd. Pushing back, 12,500 total now.
All in.
All in.
Berkey makes MJ's fold easy.
So what is it? How much more? Let's make sure. I'm
52.
probably playing.
I think it's 52.5 total.
Oh, you were winning?
Very small.
The shocked voice. Wait, you were winning?
Negreanu has Berkey
I mean,
well
I'm supposed
covered.
to, so let me just make
52 on the dot.
52, and I've already put in 12.5. 30,000.
What was I doing in that hand?
Doesn't have queens, I don't think.
What were you thinking about doing?
Kings, doesn't have aces, has ace-king, like, for sure. One of those spots where it's just like, for sure he's got those two cards. And if he doesn't, I'll just look stupid. But, I mean, if you got ace-king, you got ace-king.
Twice?
Sure. You have ace-king? It's so weird how, like, you can just know for sure, right? When you have that hand. That's what you're hoping for, so you decide the only hand he can have.
I don't know how you ruled out queens and kings, but
I can tell you later if you want. But there was for sure.
I can tell you now. It's because he had jacks.
oh, right.
So running each one.
Right, because if I would have put you on that, then I couldn't call.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
You know, it's next level. Kind
Sure,
of.
sure, sure. Yeah.
2 times.
106,000 and change as we have our first all-in player. 2 complete boards
Hey,
coming.
there's a good flop for the jacks.
Berkey's got the king of hearts working. And
Right now he
in
has
comes a
hearts.
third heart. Giving Berkey 13 outs to capture the first half.
All right.
That's
It's always
not
good
one
to
of
win
A
the
lot
first
of cards for Veel. I get all in, I have to run it 6 times.
Jacks can
What a
breathe
relief
easy.
winning the first one.
Oh my God, we called it off.
We did. You called it off. I really wanted
Such
to.
a fish.
Well, look at that. That's a good flop for you.
That certainly looks like a winner for Berkey.
Nothing could
more
possibly
hearts.
go wrong.
How many more hearts could come?
Yeah.
So I just need like
The
a.
classic nothing could go
There's
wrong.
lots of jacks left.
With the nut flush
Plenty.
draw.
2. There's, look at all those cards. None of them are jacks. So there's 2 left. Makes it about 33%.
Facts.
31. Oh. Chop it up.
And we'll press the reset button here.
You bet
I feel
sports.
cheated.
That you and Berkey.
Look at all those hearts.
Well, it wasn't long into the night before we saw a pot north of 100K, but thanks to running it twice, both guys got their money back. Back inside the Poker After Dark suite for a high-stakes 200-400 no-limit hold'em cash game.
1,000.
1,000. Call.
Daniel and Berkey both in there again. And some red crab for MJ. He'll go set mining.
Check.
10-8-6. 2 diamonds. Negreanu with the best of it. Berkey with the bad end of a gut shot.
1200.
Matt, where do you rank in the pickleball streets? Are you like the end boss?
No, God, no.
Oh, really?
We play with a
Figured
group.
super athletic, long, big reach.
No, there's so many people who have like strong tennis backgrounds, which I've never played a racket
Like
sport
me.
before.
Yeah.
30.
It ranks the same as tennis. I think I'm probably somewhere between 3.0, 3.5, which
Gotcha.
is like rather beginner.
MJ asking
It
the
was very
question
hard
with
for
a
my brain
3x check
the
raise.
Twice I've played till I forget that it's like a wiffle ball, and I would just be like smashing it as like hard as you
Yeah.
can, and then they just like walk backwards and
Yeah.
it's down with them, and I'm like, I've accomplished nothing here.
Yeah,
It's very satisfying.
It does feel really good.
if you kind of get like in a scramble, it's a nice bailout mechanism.
Yeah, but like I was trying to hit like top spin forehands, and like that's just not a thing.
Yeah, no, the tennis background, where it comes in handy is
Turn
largely
barrel
like-
of over 10K.
Yeah, largely like net play, like people who are able to like cut and slice and do like weird things in the short game. It's pretty good. They're also
Let's
so
learn a
good,
little more about MJ as he spoke with Veronica about being a new dad.
So your daughter just started walking. I saw you tweet about
Yeah.
that. How's that changed your life?
It is unbelievable. Like, it's so weird. Like, when you're a professional poker player, like, you have a mindset of just like earn, earn, earn. And like, you don't care about the variance. And then when your daughter is born and your eyes just light up and everything changes. You know, you become cognizant of so many different things that you never thought possible. So like, my priorities have kind of shifted, but I'm still, you know, in the high stakes scene.
Yeah, I can tell you're a coach for a lot of big name people.
Yeah.
How does it feel like to play against one of your students?
It's just like playing against another poker player. I approach it with a strategy and I execute.
Before tonight's action, MJ and Daniel squared off on the chessboard,
You seem really frustrated.
where Daniel has been spending considerable time online, playing, polishing his game. MJ with far less experience. And chess and pickleball have certainly been arenas that poker players have turned to keep themselves sharp physically and mentally outside the poker realm during quarantine. Gut shot, straight draw on the button for Negreanu. Better one in the small for Berkey. And he will check raise, putting a lot of pressure on middle pair behind him. And with the 8 out of there, Berkey now a heavy favorite. Daniel with the backdoor spades. Wants to peel, and in comes that 5 of spades. $2.6 to 1, the lay here. And it feels like we know where those 2 flags are headed. Right into the middle as another 20K slips into this pot. Berkey has just queen high now. He can't imagine his hand is good, though it is. Will he fire this crucial third barrel and collect the spoils, or will he wave the white flag? He chooses the latter, and now Daniel must bet. And he very confidently asks for all of it.
Oh, I have a spade. That's bad.
He didn't have a spade. Good thing I did. At least one. He definitely had the best hand there. Told you I felt like ripping it.
I almost called you the queen high, but I had the
It was
king of
good.
spades.
Yeah. Had the 10-6 of spades.
Ouch. Well, the new D-Negs has some new moves. A big all-in with 10 high and shows Berkey the bluff. Back inside the Poker After Dark suite at Aria Resort and Casino as we jump right into the action again with Scott Seiver opening with ace-king. It's folded around to Matt Berkey, who has aces, and this won't be pretty for Scott. Berkey 3-bets to 4,000.
Have you been playing much in LA?
I live here now.
I had no idea. Whereabouts?
The lakes.
Scott seeing effective stacks of 32,000.
Still fairly new.
Yeah, but which
around here
lakes? Because there's like 4 of them.
There are lakes in Summerlin.
No, off of Sahara. Right?
Decides to
Yeah,
get it
up,
all
up,
in
up.
now. Berkey, of course, with the
There's
snap
lakes,
call.
like
And Seiver
west,
is going to
lakes
get
east,
the
lakes south.
ugly
There's a lot of
news.
them.
I
Like
couldn't
Doc-
play to save my life.
73,000 in the
Doc
middle,
lives in
and
the water
Scott
on
with
there with
just
little boats
7% equity.
And just like that, Berkey has aces.
Good no reload. Nice job, dum-dum.
I would have folded if you had a penny more.
I understand.
You got maximum values there.
Matt lamenting the fact
And
that he
then-
didn't reload prior to this pot. Started things off with just
Four side
36,000.
Oh, worst river.
Seiver torches a king on the first board. And he's not looking good on the second.
What you got?
I think 36.
Queen leaves him drawing dead. So it's a full, if modest, double up for Matt Berkey. Back in the black. Seiver, meanwhile, down over 40K. Berkey giving himself a sarcastic pat on the back.
Did you add anything?
No.
No add.
What a
That was
needle.
a needle.
What a needle.
Yeah.
I tried to
I
add
added a lot of heart and determination.
I
didn't
will
have
make
that
it 9.
before.
900.
the dedication and focus is now there.
Absolutely.
Call.
The
Smith
absolute
wakes up to 2
determination
queens
will-
on the
The
button.
old Scott would be tilted playing this stack. This is new mature Scott.
Yeah. Check.
Obviously, new mature Scott
8.
opened under the gun for 1,000 and folded for 3,200.
You can recognize when a man has it.
Call.
There.
Seiver check calls 800 with the king 6
Although
and
he
hits a
Get
6.
it all in against aces, so maybe not.
Well, he kind of had it.
You're fine, thank you.
I'm like 45, I think.
22.
2,200.
Boy, this is a milking here. Smith could have bet north of pot ever so slightly and gotten all of Scott's chips in potentially here, but instead he asks for just 2,200 of the remaining 45
All in.
All in.
and induces the check ship perhaps.
Fair.
One time.
Are you guys all left-handed, or you just shuffle with your left hand?
I'm right-handed.
I'm right-handed, but like the chips are here.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
yeah,
setup.
yeah.
It's 100% the setup.
It's just, you
Because
just hate to see it every time.
Yeah, I'm right-handed too, but I've been. Let me see the second river, just for Scott, for Scott's sake. Oh no!
Ah!
Well, Seiver will be left with no choice but to add on now, unless he wants to hang up the cleats early, as
Smith collects a pelt.
Not a great 1-2 for Scott Seiver as a cold deck torched most of his chips. Then the crumbs found their way to Dan Smith. Rebuy coming up. Before the break, Scott Seiver lost most of his chips to Matt Berkey's aces, then dusted off the rest, leaving him digging into his pocket for a rebuy.
Fair.
I could have been winning. I mean, you've been known to check raise a little bit better than or a little bit worse than a pair.
Gotta get out there.
No, just top pair.
We have a newborn
heart.
dog, so it's like
Sometimes
we
you
need
got
to
it.
Squirrel finds the nut.
family-oriented.
Just top pair with a heart.
Sometimes you got it. What am I supposed to do?
1,000. Call.
Don't worry, Zach. If I keep playing this way, you'll have all the money.
Truth. At least there's some truth in it.
Call.
I still can't get over the Jack 10-7 deuce PLO hand we played.
I don't remember it because
Sure you don't.
I
Let's play
don't
around
know
to
what the
PLO.
hands were.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's play around.
I 4-bet, Berkey flats.
You're
King,
If
queen,
he flats,
nine.
you're
Oh,
King,
yeah,
queen,
yeah,
nine.
yeah.
I just have
Yeah.
ace, king, 10.
I was double suited. I
He
heard
has
that's a good thing.
Jack 10-7 deuce there.
Word on
somehow.
the street is that is.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know.
I thought that was very critical.
Somehow it goes all in on the flop and he shows me the old Jack 10-7 deuce somehow.
Negreanu
Oh,
getting
you have
frisky
the
out of the
board
big
for
here
your
with
high,
7-5
medium, and
offsuit.
low. Board coverage, that's like a phrase
That's
I
a
know
thing.
I've heard
That's a
in
thing.
PLO.
That's a thing.
And Berkey loves to play big ones. Hangs tough with the ace-9 suited. Now Smith with a bit of a decision after electing to flat
Well, this just doesn't
his
seem
king-queen
fair.
suited pre.
Oh, you got what you wanted.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Very fair.
3 callers is a little.
You made a nice big pot for me
Check.
to win.
And Dan's call draws Zach in there as well. And he flops himself top pair for the best hand, while Negreanu has an open ender. Nobody has a lone club, let alone 2.
$17,500.
And this takes a little courage. Negreanu, a big $17,500 bet, dispatches the overcards, and that's a big ask out of a pair of 6s with no backdoor diamonds.
All in.
All in.
Franzi check raising all in.
You got like 50.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, I just have 3 6s.
All in call.
Twice? No, no.
Yeah, it was like, that'd be crazy.
Because
What,
you have
do
3
twice?
sixes?
No, I have the 6-7.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
You
Both
do twice?
psychopaths.
2 times. 2 straights.
You teach him that?
2 boats.
I didn't teach him that.
He said I have 3 6s. Well, that's awkward.
I mean, it almost
Yeah.
worked.
Negreanu leaving the field a little surprised as they'll run it twice in an almost 120K pot.
Monkey.
Swing and a miss on the first turn.
Monkey? Fair.
All right.
Close,
Win
but
the
not
first one.
there.
Always feels good to win the first one, as they say.
Fair. Hold on.
There's only so many times that I can bitch about it, you know.
No, there isn't.
Hey, the good news is if he hits me on the turn, I'm redrawing.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming. I'm coming.
I wish I would have peeled.
Oh, not the Jack.
Same story on the second turn, and Negreanu
Anything but that.
left in
the
need of a
worst
3 or an
one.
8 for a refund.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 pair. You win.
Instead, 7s
Holler.
and 6s. And there is a big uptick on the Zach Franzi chart.
Well, it's not often you scoop a 120K pot getting it in with a pair of 6s, but Zach Franzi is the delighted beneficiary of Kid Poker's chips. Back to Las Vegas for more Poker After Dark, where Zach Franzi is sitting with a nearly 70K profit after a nice little run.
He absolutely succeeded.
Karim was in town for 10 days. I got to play 1 session with him because I couldn't find
1,000.
the heart to come back.
Yeah.
2,500.
I've never had good bounce back ability.
I'm kind of with you, Scott. I fall off the ladder.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
more of a better
You know,
analogy.
You don't have to, if you never leave, you can't bounce back. You've never left
Yeah,
the game.
that's true. I also just never leave. But
Earlier in this session,
forced
Negreanu
out.
had the jacks against Berkey's
You know, there's
ace
like
king, and they got
90%
it in
free throw
there.
Shooters, they miss one. It
Might
just
the
means
roles get
nothing to them.
reversed
They're
here?
Like 96% on the next.
As Daniel 4-bets it. Berkey opting to flat. $20K in there pre. And the ace in the window right away for Daniel. Fairly wet board.
5,200.
And just a quarter pot bet on the turn here. On the flop, rather. Berkey hangs in, looking to pick up equity, which he does not. Now, Negreanu heavily in the lead.
$21,000.
Barrels again, north of 2/3 pot. Will Matt give him credit and release? The answer is yes.
Oh,
Maybe
right.
something better. Huh?
Obviously, so you didn't have kings. We should have just got it all in and flipped again.
Yeah.
I guess you could have king queen spade. Nope. Had the queen spade.
That makes it hard.
Yeah.
Peek at Berkey sizing Daniel up there, and Negreanu wouldn't have minded a call. It's just the queen on the end that would have made an unhappy camper. Tall order, though, as he gets a refund on some of those chips he lost to Franzi.
$4,400.
Meanwhile, Franzi getting 3-bet by MJ. Hangs in there with his king-jack. And flops top pair against a gut shot straight draw.
Fans love to see it.
2,100. I end up forced to bet small on a game. I'll be anti-sweating myself because, like,
Of course.
yeah.
Unbelievable. That's just mandatory.
Call.
Franzi choosing to just call the flop now on the turn. MJ picks up the flush draw.
$5,700.
Fires again, this time 5,700, and it doesn't look like Franzi gave much thought to making this call. And that is a soaking wet 8 of hearts on the river.
Check.
MJ choosing to check. Oh, and Franzi's going to take a chance here.
12,400.
And MJ's sense of sniff is strong. If he thinks that Franzi is out there weak with this value bet, he is not afraid to put a raise in. He does block 9-10. But it's the hearts that could be worrisome. MJ reached for that stack of flags and it looked for a second like he might pull the trigger.
Blasting off there.
Yeah.
Should have blasted off.
I thought you were making it 42.
I was
Very, very
probably putting the chips in faster than my head could spin.
Yeah.
If you just say the nuts, I say nice hand and add on.
Yeah, we move on. Life goes on.
Weird.
Wasn't up to
No
me at
reason
that
to dwell
point.
in the past.
Wasn't up to me at that point.
No doubt.
Poker After Dark is brought to you by Roman. Simple, straightforward, the way healthcare should be. Visit GetRoman.com to learn more. Manscaped. Don't gamble with your grooming tools. Visit Manscaped.com today for the best in men's grooming. And Poker Go. Get in the game at PokerGo.com.
You did a nice one
Stone
to
nuts.
Christoph when me and Daniel were at the table. You gave a speech.
King Queen.
I did do
on
that.
the
That was
Queen.
nice.
King Queen club.
Man, I had ace jack. I almost
We didn't shop that one then, right?
Him with the fishies.
No, he folded trips,
Yeah.
You bet that on the queen.
and you windmilled it in his face.
Yeah.
I guess
That
I
one
can
was,
check
that
and
one
if
was
you
really
bluff
great.
off, but are you going to?
Oh, my favorite one you did was when you said you did this to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
The guy bet the river, and you go, oh my God, you just did this to yourself. And then you like check raised big, and he folded, and you showed air.
Yeah.
He's like, remember when you fold this, that you did this to yourself.
Yeah. That one I remember. That's one of my
That was-
favorite ones.
I don't remember
My
who
absolute
was it
favorite is
again?
you against Sergey in the WSOP.
Check.
Oh my God! You every hand you mimicked him, you made fun of him.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just needled him as hard
I
as
just
humanly
went- I went-
possible.
I went out of control on him.
He wanted to light himself on fire.
Yeah.
1,700.
I still remember it. It's so
Ace
funny.
queen against two
That
kings.
was right after him and Emil got into some like big fight in like EBT Berlin or something like 1,000 years
Franzi
ago.
just
in the
defended the
Turkey.
big and now
You
peels
would
the turn,
recognize.
picking up an inferior club draw.
Oh, dude.
And I was just like, oh, next time I play with him, I'm just gonna be on him like glue.
It was relentless for like 5 levels.
Yeah. Just chirped every single hand.
What event was
in
it?
Not in it.
Some, I don't know, 10K stud or something?
Yeah, some absolute like nonsense event with like 80 people in it. Just completely on him.
Wow, in a limit game, it's a lot harder.
It's so much more satisfying. They tilt so much worse.
Franzi choosing to check raise, 3xing the 3K to 9.
Cool.
Negreanu certainly not going anywhere. And in comes the club. Negreanu has the king high flush draw up against the queen high flush draw. Neither player has the nuts. 5-8 of clubs, 10-8 of clubs, and the ace of clubs all beat their holdings.
That's smaller than I was going to bet. So I think you did good. I think you saved money. I think.
If you have the king, I saved money.
You did, you did.
I have a flush, but
Yeah.
king's good.
I have the king. Two of them?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the downsized defensive bet on the end
I was gonna bet a
saves
little bit more
Franzi
than
money.
that, just a little. 6, I think, or 8.
Guys are on a break.
I guess that was the move, huh? Check Jeff.
As Daniel trying to rebound. Still down 21,000 as we'll get a look at the stack sizes brought to you by GG Poker. Negreanu in for 150K. MJ Gonzalez up 22 on his 100K investment. Franzi, the big winner, up 69 on his 50K. Dan Smith stuck 31. Berkey up 6. And Scott Seiver down 46,000.
Next time on Poker After Dark,
I almost ripped it in with the ace of clubs. I knew he had a straight. I thought for sure he had a straight.
Jake Daniels joins in on the fun.
What kind of person straddles and folds free? And this is embarrassing.
Shut up.
Scott mounts a comeback.
I was like, I can do this. You're right.
You're so inspirational.
Yeah.
And Dan Smith goes full cowboy.
If I can only lose 30K today, it would be great.